Can you hear me better now, Professor?
Okay, keep talking.
Okay, so my investigation is operational agility and resilience in the supply chain in Latin American SMEs. I selected I selected the database from Peru 2017 from the World Bank surveys. The reason why I selected the World Bank surveys is because it provides a rich level on firm level microdata, which had organizational practices, innovation activities, export behavior, and operational obstacles, where I can room into the agility index and resilience index. It was one of the few data sets that had all of the data I needed and be able to operationalize it into agility, resilience, and export performance using the
The
questionnaires
questionnaires
that
that
are
are
there.
there.
Oh, now you're on stereo. You have to mute one of the mics or something, or I don't know what is that. You gotta turn one of them off.
There
Maybe.
we go. Done. I turned one on. I'm sorry. So each one, if you can see my data, this is the raw data selected from the the World Bank surveys. You have data. Well, there's a lot of data. So
Were there
here
any
you
missing
have
values?
when it was on the missing values, there was only for the variables that I selected, there was only three rows, three surveys that did not have the year when it was found. That was the only three. So instead of taking out a medium of years, I just did not count those three firms that were there because it was just three firms that didn't participate in the
Out,
survey from
out of a total of how many?
800, sorry, 766.
Okay, so you should mention they were three were dropped, and anybody would say that that's probably not going to impact your results. So that's pretty good. Usually, when you drop observations, you have to justify that, or at least make the assumption that they are not any different from the rest of the data and won't in any way bias your results. So
Those I was going to put it in the results section of the final paper.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three firms that were not included. Once I had the firms, the first model, for example, the first model I had the first variable I used for independent variables organizational agility. I use that because the firms need to adapt quickly, innovate consistently, introduce new products, and see the obstacles. Sorry, not the obstacles, and see how if they perform better in export markets. It was operationalized with an average of three binary indicators, which it was the new product introduction, the process innovation, and the R&D investments,
Eh, Can
which
you
are
can you
all
project that again, the model?
sure.
How did you deal with all these
This
categor
is
sorry, you have these categorical variables. Did you code them?
I
You
just made
use
them.
those ones.
I recoded them binary. Yes. There you could see that in the final data where I had all of these are the original data set. This is the original data from each one. And then right in this section, I began the process of recoding them on this one.
Okay.
So here you have all from this section onwards, this is all recoded binary where one could be yes or no and recoded to values where the major obstacles, no obstacle, moderate obstacle, minor obstacle were recoded into one, two, three, four, five
As
to make them
obstacle.
binary. Yes, as obstacles. And then here, the agility index that created a average between the three variables that I was using, that was innovation processes and R&D. And then for the resilience that was here, it had to be inverted, reversed, because for it to be presented correctly, the higher the number, the
Mm,
the more resilient a company would be. But if you use the original data and you don't reverse it, the higher the number, the less resilient. So you have to reverse it to be able to use it,
interpret.
correct it, and interpret against the hypotheses and the results that I was acquiring.
So you created the agility index yourself
Yes.
with what justification? Just it makes sense to you, or did you have that from another paper?
In the literature review, they used a lot of variables, and here the variables that coexisted in this data set were new product introduction, process innovation, and R&D investment.
Okay,
And then
so
for resilience, supply chain resilience, it was to see the key obstacles indicator, which were also three, that it was access to land and space, transportation and logistics obstacles, and finance access. That would be the three indicators with this data set that I could prove a resilience agility index. Sorry, a resilience
okay.
index.
So this is very interesting what you did, but this is what you followed what they've done in other papers. Is that what you're telling me?
On the index, yes.
Okay, so what you've done is actually very intuitive. And this is the substance of factor analysis and structural equation modeling. The idea that you have a concept, agility index, created from three other variables, but you did it yourself, like you just did an average,
On
right?
average, that's correct. Here, that's the
But
error
and then you
average.
did the and then with resilience you did an average again. But let's say,
But I had to reverse it.
yeah, but
So on
let's
these three lines, you see the reversed area, but these are the original binary recodings.
okay, or the categorical.
Yes, because they're
Um,
an obstacle. So you have minor obstacle, no obstacle. There is also a do not know or spontaneous, but in my data, it coincided. It sorry, not coincided. That's the wrong word. It was the same as the three firms that also didn't have the year, so I didn't have to take out more data. It was just those three firms.
okay, just 1 second. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, or get at, you've made innovation, process innovation, and R&D, you've made them equally important. And by just averaging them, which seems like a natural thing to do, but they might not be equally important. One of those might be more important than the others. So something like you don't have to do it for this class. It's just something to look into for what you've done is factor analysis um, that identifies factors. So your factor is agility index that you are coding or you're estimating from other variables. So that's something that could improve your model, in the future. But just letting you know, that's a branch of statistics that could improve your model. All right.
And I appreciate that, Professor, because I'm using this as part of the proposal I'm going to work on
Okay,
next
so
semester
so it's
for my
called so
dissertation.
okay, so some of the terms are I'll put it in the chat. So principal component analysis and factor analysis. And you can find videos, you can watch stuff about it, but basically you have the intuition for it. You know that the other variables have a concept that you want to capture and you want to study. And so so principal component analysis and factor analysis. And this feeds into like structural equation modeling. Look it all up, but for later, not for me.
Thank you.
You have the essence of the concept. Okay, good. Okay, continue.
So then I went into the control variables. In the control variables, I included the firm size, which was the I use the log of the employee counts for permanent employees. I think you can see there in firm size. So that has a log of the employees there. So to create a one of the controls, the other one was firm age that was based on um, year founded. So for that, I simply, because this data is 2017, I simply just 2017 minus the year founded created the firm size, the firm age, and then the last independent variable that I did not mention was the foreign ownership variable. That I used it because in literature it measures the percent of the firms owned by foreign investors. So the literature shows that foreign owned firms have more international experience and better managerial capabilities. So in theory, it would, if a firm has a higher percentage or is foreignly owned, it would, in theory, be more agile. It would have more agility or resilience,
One
or
sec.
the resilience would be higher.
Sorry, 1 second. All right. So you were saying?
Foreign ownership um, variable, in theory, when in the literature, it shows that foreign owned firms have more international experience because they have better managerial capabilities and a stronger global network, and would directly influence a higher agility and higher resilience. That's why it was selected. Now I'm going to show you how I did each one of them. For example, the export performance, that is my dependent variable. I use the percent of sales exported directly and indirectly, and that just stayed in as the number that it was presented. Each one represents the amount, the percent of export that that company did from 0 to 100. The reason is this would be the most direct indicator of export intensity in this data set. Later on, we went to the first independent variable, that it would be this one, agility index. And that one, I used three variables, which in the data set, it would be H1. When I mention going forward, when I mention H1, H5 is because the Peru 2017 World Bank surveys is based on a questionnaire. So each one has, there is a direct name for each one. So for example, H1 would represent new products introduced by that company. H5 would be the process innovation, and I1 would be R&D investments, recoded all of them, where you can see that, into binary, into 0, 1, each one, and then I would average out the percent the I would average out all three, and that in theory would be the higher the agility index, the more agile the firm is. Later on, we go to resilience indicator, that it would be this one. Here, we again base it on three. It
So,
would be
so as
D30.
as I explained before, yeah, that you mentioned that in your paper that you're assuming they're equally weighted, right? To do like a
Yes,
simple average.
yes. And then in the resilience indicator, I use the access to land obstacle. It'll be D30A, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have it over here, but it's on the other side. And the transport logistics obstacle and the financial access obstacle. And then we reversed it because you would need that the higher the one, if you don't reverse it, the higher the one, it would be less resilient. So you need it to be the higher the number, the more resilient. So to be able to explain it in the results. And that's where you see the resilience index right here. And then for foreign ownership, we went with the percent of firm owned by a foreign investor, and that is just a key. That is a key column. That one
Is
is
that
right here.
R? Yeah.
There we
So that's
go.
100%. That's what it means.
Yeah, one is just that it has foreign ownership, and two that is not foreign ownership. Sorry, one and zero. I'm sorry,
But what is that? Is that any foreign ownership or because
any foreign
aren't
ownership.
they all going to be one?
No, no. In the
What
descriptive,
percentage are one?
uh, let me see if I have it. I don't know if I have
Because
it in the.
owners like stockholders, are these all public firms?
I don't. This one. Whoops.
If they're public firms, they could all be
No,
foreign, partly owned.
no. There are firms that are not partly owned.
Do you know what you need? You need to get the definition of this one
Okay.
because do you understand what I'm saying? Because if there's
Yes.
one stockholder in the United States, it's foreign owned, but does that really what you're trying to get at? Not necessarily, right? Like majority
Uh,
stockholder, majority ownership is what you want to get at. Or anyway, look into it. I'm
okay. I'll
suggesting.
check the questionnaire.
What do you think? Do you think that's a point? Because
I would have to check. I
I'm
did
thinking
not
they're
think
all
about that.
one.
No, they're not all one. There are zeros.
What percentage?
Check.
Okay, looks like half, maybe half.
74. No, it's not a high percentage because it's 74 out of 762. It was not high, but it is significant to be able to use it. But I would have to check the questionnaire and as well define it in the paper as the definition behind foreign ownership
Yeah, okay, great.
to what percent, because here they only classify it as yes or no. So I would have to check how they define it or to what parameter or intensity they define it. Maybe it's one, maybe it's like we mentioned, one person owns one single stock, and that might be a yes, but I would have to check. I do not know. I'll check that and I'll put it in my
Okay,
literature in my paper
great.
and define it.
If it's necessary, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's not necessary, I would put it just to make sure because the same way you mentioned it, any other reader can see it and also ask the same question.
Yeah.
So then we go to the actual models. I did a descriptive table to be able to show each one for example, the ones that are exporters and non-exporters. I'm trying to do the resilience towards companies that are exporters. So I need both of them. So from 762 are exporters, and then 18 only are not exporters. And then you would go towards each one with the descriptive variables towards exporters with new products, exporters with new process innovation, exporters with R&D, and then the mean and the standard deviation for exporters and non-exporters for the agility index, same for the resilience index, and the control variables where we have firm size and firm age. Then when we go to the models, the first model I selected was the
Sorry, can
purpose
you go
was
back to the descriptors for a moment? Okay, so what you're giving me here is the count. Can you put, yeah, you intend to put the percentages there, right? But you just don't have it
it's
yet.
there, it's right here.
Oh, it's over there on the right. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the data that I use, and then this is the actual percentage in the I call it but I didn't put, I have to change these into percentage. I didn't do
So
that's
in
the only
terms
thing.
of presentation, Yeah, have a system, have a standard, or like be consistent. Um, so you have like usually 4 decimals is enough for 4 decimals is probably enough. Um, then you always have to think about how they're going to print it. Usually when you do a paper and you send it to a journal, they just put what you put. They don't change to make it attractive and legible. You don't need so many decimal places, just let you know. But
Okay.
you have agility and it's an index though. What's the range of that index? That would be good to see maximum and minimum.
Okay.
Like, because who knows what agility is and resilience is. I mean, what's the max going to be? Because it's out of 0 and 1, right?
Yes. I'll define it.
So the max could be 1,
The
and the
minimum, if I'm
minimum
not
would be
mistaken,
0. Max and
no,
min.
the minimum on these would be point 60, 60 something,
Oh, because it's
65.
divided by 3, but it's 0
Yeah.
too.
No, but nothing came out as zero. No.
It's 0 to 1 though, right? Yeah, because
It's
nothing.
0 to 1, but nothing came out at zero. Everything
Okay.
came out between point 65, and I think it was
Yeah,
like
yeah, because you didn't
7,
have
almost
all of
8.
those as 0 ever. Okay. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
just put a minimum and max
Yeah. Okay.
so we can
I'll add that
understand that better. And yeah, and cut your decimals.
to what? To
Even
4.
2, I think, well, for your agility index, because it's 0 to 1,
Contain it in 2 decimal
I don't
points.
know, maybe two should be fine.
Okay.
I think it should be fine, 2 decimal points. Okay, anyway, continue.
Perfect. So then we go into the models. In the first one, I wanted to test whether agility directly improves export performance while accounting for the foreign ownership structure. So here we have the performance indicator as the dependent variable. We have all three independent variables and the two control variables for the
So expert performance is
external.
between 0 and 5.
Expert
The
expert
range.
performance. No, those I use the percentage.
Oh, go back again. Sorry. I'm sorry. Go back to the export performance because I see zeros.
Oh, yeah. I think I put them by.
Go
Actually,
back to your
I think I put
descriptive. Sorry, go back to your descriptive table. Export perform. It's not here. Your dependent is not here.
uh oh no, I didn't add it. I have to add it.
So what you could do is like have the dependent at the top row and then divide it by the other ones.
Okay.
I mean, like just separate it so, and maybe say it's dependent and independent. So somebody looking at your table doesn't have to read your whole paper to see that what you did. But anyway, continue.
Okay.
So you're saying it's yeah, you need to do the descriptives for the dependent, of course. And so the range of the dependent you said is what? The range of
It
values?
wa- it was 1 to 100
Oh, okay.
because that was a
Percentage.
percent.
Okay.
That was a
Okay.
percentage.
1 to 100. Got it. Okay.
And here you see what I wanted to test was if agility directly improves export performance while accounting uh, for the foreign ownership variable. Here, in short, agility and foreign ownership did not significantly predict. Dude, this part right here. Agility performance did not statistically significantly predict export performance, so the hypothesis was not supported here. You could see that clearly in the p-values under what it was required. On the second model, I used the purpose was to examine whether resilience adds any type of explanation
So you didn't do
or
any,
any type.
you didn't look at any transformations at all? You didn't, did you graph this data? Did you look at the
No,
graph?
I was gonna do graphing for the final paper.
You're going to do the graphing later?
Yes,
Okay. So basically you have the models, you just want to run them and then but then you're going to go back and
exactly.
and yeah.
Yeah, I did something preliminary for the oral presentation
Okay.
to be able to support the hypothesis that I planted in the proposal I made. But I did not graph. Graph, I would do it for the final
Yeah,
presentation,
you
for the
guys should
final paper.
always graph first before you do anything, but I understand I forced you to write down 5 models. So you had to just you already had your models. So but like this is your opportunity. You still have time to look at each of the variables to see if they need any transformations, right? Um, yeah. So
I would do that as well as for the appendices that I have to
yes,
include them.
yes. Okay. So keep going.
So in model two, I
I
examined
mean,
whether
I probably
resilience.
should get on to other people, but this is great. I'm enjoying this walkthrough, and I think it's helping you, right? There's a few things you
Yeah,
need to do here that it's clear that you need to do.
everything on from here onwards is going to be similar towards
Yeah.
explaining the type of model that I did, what were the variables, and explaining how it did significant or did not. In my case, it did not support my hypotheses, and none of the five models supported the hypotheses
Yeah, so
with the data
you
I
do need
used.
to do all the graphs. Make sure, that you see that you don't see any kind of pattern. Do you need to transform any of these variables in any ways? Like, with the Z statistic videos, he shows if it's curved, you got to introduce a square term or if
Yes,
there's an interaction, you can include an interaction. Like start doing that and then also
okay,
do the diagnostics. So that's what you're going to spend the next couple of weeks doing. I will stop here because just because I guess it's going to be more of the same, right? Because you've done it.
yes,
So this is good though.
yes.
It's great that you have
And you
the
can see that
framework.
here. Model 3, same thing. You
Yeah,
have all three with the explanation
great.
of each one. Model 4, and the last one was a mediation model, and as well,
So
also
see
same with
see
the
what you
with my
can do in terms of getting through some diagnostics before next class because I'm going to talk about that
okay,
next class. All right.
okay,
Okay, very good, Karji. Great start. So I have you guys, I've asked you to hold on, let me get on here. So I've asked you guys to find literature on your topics because the literature is going to inform your model. Sorry, I think it's moving. Um, the literature is going to inform your model. Otherwise, you're just going to throw a bunch of variables in and see what happens. That's not advisable. Okay. Now, there are methods in statistics derived that can, and I'm sure now you can pretty much automate it with AI to choose. Well, even software already does it. It chooses the best variables out of a set of variables. You could plug in, you can have 30 columns of variables and put it into a statistical software and ask for the best fitting variables. And it does a system of choosing. If anybody knows about stepwise or backwards regression, these are methods. There's different terminology for them. I don't know if it's backwards, but anyway, stepwise regression is just the umbrella term for it. And it goes through a process of choosing variables. We don't want to do that kind of thing because we actually have theory to support the relationships and we want to use that theories. Not to dismiss that if you have a few variables and you're just unsure which ones to use, you could kind of, use a stepwise regression algorithm to help you pick, but there has to be sensibility, right? Otherwise, there's all kinds of things that correlate that don't mean anything. you can find what's called spurious correlation in meaningless relationships. They have a whole website of spurious, I don't know if anybody knows about that, correlations that have no sense, okay, of different variables. And so that's not what we want to do. So sticking with the theory, you can justify using certain variables, but then after the fact, then you have to go hard with the quantitative methods, make sure that your relationship is linear, make sure that you satisfy those assumptions of ordinary least squares so that you can justify the mathematical side of your model. Okay, so that's kind of, we got to put them both together. When I did my degree in statistics and I was just a kid and I didn't know much about anything. We were just doing stepwise regressions. And I always felt funny about that because you could spend days running regressions and trying different models and different variables, but that's not the point, right? There needs to be theory to justify these relationships. And then using statistical methods and mathematical statistical methods, you test whether these are sound relationships. And the method involves a lot of graphing. I hope you guys are doing graphs. When you do your output from Excel, ask for all the graphs you can get. I think I showed you guys how to choose those graphs, get those residual plots, get those, get all that stuff and look at it. Okay, so we can talk more about that next week too. We still have time, but most of what Karjita's done is great. He has the layout already. If he has to cut and paste different things, he can do it. It's not a big deal, but he has it laid out. Okay, good. Is there anybody else who wants to go today and do this? Is there anybody else who doesn't want to go today? Because then I can decide how much time to allot everybody. Karjita and I spent what, 25 minutes, 30 minutes? I think it was very good. I enjoyed my time with
I
Karjit.
I have mine done, but watching Harjeet's, well, I have
I do
the
the
same
same thing.
issues.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to go? Okay, so then you can wait till next week because I'll spend some time next week talking about the diagnostic checks and things like
Ale-
that. Cart-
Alexandra's
I see.
data and mine are very similar. The only thing is that she has Mexico and I have Peru, but they are very similar. So we
That's,
used very similar models to be able to do uh, our work.
you guys really teamed up well. I'm really happy about that. I mean, that I'm glad is you can help each other and then also I killed two birds with one stone. I mean, that sounds terrible speaking about people,
No,
but
no,
I'm helping
what
you
you
both at
told
the
me,
same time.
Professor,
Hmm.
what you told me, Professor, Alexandra used it on her paper, and I did my descriptive table based on what you told Alexandra.
Yeah, so it goes both ways, exactly.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so Katiria, you were going to tell me. You ready?
Sí, sí, voy a aprovechar para obtener su feedback, sus
See, perfect.
recomendaciones y aprovechar todo el tiempo que pueda.
Okay, and everybody's going to help me with the Spanish, okay? Okay, let's do this.
Nítido.
Let's see,
Déjame,
Katiria. Thank you
busco
guys.
los datos. Ujú.
So let me put back to speaker mode.
No sé si se puede ya ver.
Sí, se ve.
Yep. See,
Sí,
can you?
sorry.
Yeah, I can see it. How are you guys? I have a huge screen, a monitor, but can you guys see? Is it too small for you?
Yo lo estoy viendo bien
I can see
pequeño.
a bit.
Okay,
No,
as
it's
long as
okay.
you guys
It's
can see
perfect.
it.
Ok.
Oh, great. Looks beautiful. Wow, you work hard.
Algo. Por eso quise hacerlo bien simple, seleccionar de las empresas que voy a tocar, es escoger una para enfocarme en la viabilidad. Como se tiene conocimiento, estoy trabajando lo que es la relación entre la innovación y el rendimiento financiero de las empresas. Para hacerlo así, pues tomé el caso de multinacionales que tienen segmentos de café y con el propósito de hacer un estudio de caso de Nespresso versus Keurig, que son las dos compañías que más llaman la atención de cuando hablamos de café y la innovación, sobre todo por sus productos como los coffee makers y los K-Cups y los Nespresso capsules. Pero sobre todo de ambos, quien desde un inicio resuena Nespresso. ¿Y por qué? Porque Nespresso cambió las reglas del juego. Pertenecen dentro de la industria de alimentos y bebidas, industria que para muchos es moderada, que se enfoca mucho en la reducción de costos y de precios para sobrevivir en el mercado. ¿Y qué pasa? Que Nestlé tira este producto que sumamente costoso en patentes, en research and development, y a su vez es el café más caro del mundo por granos, entre granos, midiéndolo en granos, en libras. Y cómo, si todo el mundo busca que el café sea más barato, tener lo más accesible posible, Nestlé de repente en una industria que busca reducir costos, aumenta y a su vez tiene un producto caro que se relaciona mucho con lo que es la industria de la moda, de los autos, de los cosméticos, la industria luxury. Entonces, por eso fue que se me hizo bien interesante lo que fue, vamos a mirar el café. Y el café, pero dentro de la industria. ¿Por qué? Porque es claro que puede ser bien chévere tocar la innovación dentro de estas compañías, así como le había dejado saber que estudios han reconocido que tanto las compañías que son innovadoras son las que adquieren un mayor valor, una mayor capitalización, indican, por tanto, un mayor lucro. Lo mismo sucede con que han reconocido el café, que dentro del café también se está obteniendo un profit, un profit bastante alto. Estoy haciendo este estudio lo más autóctono posible. eh, Como dice, uno sacado, esto es autóctono. Como indiqué, Nestlé, aunque tiene cotización en la Bolsa de Valores de los Estados Unidos, una compañía public company, pero es OTC. Por tanto, los datos públicos no los tengo tan fácil a la mano. Entonces, Nestlé es una compañía suiza. Me fui a la compañía como tal, saqué información basada en sus informes anuales pero ¿qué pasa? Que su moneda es el franco suizo. A pesar de que toqué aproximadamente unos 5 años, de 7 a 5 años, tuve que hacer una conversión del franco suizo a US dollar. Entonces, como estamos viendo, extraje los segmentos operacionales de Nestlé, que es en el 2018, desde el 2018 la zona de las Américas, la zona de Europa, Middle East, África, zona de Asia, Oceanía, África, zona de Norteamérica, zona de Europa, zona de Latinoamérica, China, el mercado de los productos relacionados al agua de Nestlé, otros productos, Nestlé Health Science y el producto de Nespresso. Valió tanto la pena, es tan importante ese producto para Nestlé es como decir, el producto estrella que lo tiene un segmento operacional aparte. Aparte está como un segmento operacional desde el año 2020. Por eso van a ver que no está dentro, lo vas a ver aparte. Cuando veo las ventas por segmento, lo vas a ver aparte. Y de lo mismo pasa con EMENA, que es la zona de Europa, Middle East y North Africa, que para el año 2022 comenzaron a dividir el mercado de Europa, igualmente otras áreas, como pasa con Norteamérica, que la zona de las Américas lo segregaron como zona de Norteamérica y zona de Latinoamérica, que hubo unas divisiones. Entonces, hice esta parte posible para reconocer en particular el lanzamiento de este producto, cuánto me deja a mí en ventas anuales. Específicamente lo podemos obtener desde el año 2020 al 2024, que son los 5 años que tengo disponibles, aunque previo lo estaban haciendo dentro del segmento de otros negocios. Coloqué una gráfica donde podemos identificar lo que son las ventas del producto de Nespresso. Eso incluye tanto las máquinas como las cápsulas. Y como queremos relacionar lo que es la innovación, pues yo seleccioné, ¿verdad? Como variable dependiente de la innovación, Research and Development Expense, el gasto. ¿Cuánto yo estoy gastando anual pues, en costos en gastos de Research and Development? Desde un inicio había explicado, yo le había enviado a la profesora data de que incluía patentes, aunque no de esta compañía, sino de la otra, de Curie, pero por el tiempo y que como quiero entregar un trabajo lo más completo y con resultados, pues me estoy enfocando únicamente con Research and Development. No obstante, estoy trabajando también con patentes para otros trabajos de investigación. Entonces, así relacionar el efecto que tiene, si tuviese alguno, la innovación con el rendimiento financiero. Para este paper que está en proceso, hay un cambio dentro de las hipótesis, porque aunque la principal de que continúa entre tantas otras hipótesis que sometí, agrego y que me estoy enfocando en lo que son los activos, los total assets. Trayendo a colación la hipótesis, las empresas con mayores activos disponen de más recursos para la innovación. Por tanto, si tiene entre más activos, más me están gastando a mí en Research and Development. Y cómo estoy viendo resultados para entonces identificar luego que también los tengo, los productos en específico, como Nespresso Virtual, etcétera, las que se tiran anuales. Ahí es que traigo a colación, selecciono las variables. Aquí me faltan dos que todavía tengo por terminar. De los total assets, el net income, el return on assets. Los colores los podemos identificar como pues, una disminución. Aquí vemos un mayor por ciento, el 2021 que fue mayor. Algo que me llama la atención automáticamente son un periodo que vemos de mayor por ciento de return on assets, que esto, hablando, ¿verdad? Fuera de récord, lo puedo usar como un factor externo como el COVID, que las personas no hayan podido salir de su hogar a comprarle café, un buen café, pues dicen, mira, pues vamos a comprar una single coffee maker, Nespresso, que lo hace de calidad, un cappuccino, lo tengo en mi hogar o mi home office y continúo. Eh, entonces, seleccionando las variables dependientes de Research and Development, esto no sé si aquí se ve, ajá, Research and Development Expense y las variables independientes para el modelo 1 de Total Assets y venta de productos, que comencé. No sabía que tenía que aquí como tal escribir, sino que mi mayor enfoque fue en este proceso, ya que si yo estoy entrando en hacer una investigación, yo dije, quiero obtener parte de la viabilidad, es tener las variables, los datos y las variables que lo hagan así. Y entonces, una vez las seleccioné, pues Aquí medí en el primer modelo lo que fue la dependiente, que fue teníamos el gasto de R&D y las independientes de Total Assets y de Product Sales.
Criteria,
Ajá.
you have 5 observations.
Los 5 modelos, only 5 models.
No,
Observation.
observations, so you have 5. It's too small. I know that you're spending so much time collecting.
Observation, sí,
Yes,
cinco periodos, porque fue para
yes.
Espresso. Tengo mucho más porque quise,
Okay.
ajá, porque 5 observation es basado en que son 5 años, porque Nespresso está como segmento aparte desde el año 2020. Por eso es 1, 2, 3, 4, ajá, 1, 4 y 5. Son las 5 observaciones que se tienen, por eso, porque pues se obtuvo que en el segmento solamente esta parte desde el año 2020.
We could do a regression with 5 observations, but not a multiple regression. This is a problem because
Yo
for
te lo
every
juro.
for every variable that you add to your model. So what are your independent variables? Sorry.
Las independientes
Uh, It's
para
a
las regresiones.
R&D, R&D.
No, R&D expense is the
Is it
la
dependent?
dependiente.
Sorry. And the independent is, there you go.
Ajá, para las regresiones seleccioné Total Revenue
Uh-huh.
and Product Sales, que por eso son
Product
las ventas de
sales.
Nespresso, que son los 5 periodos desde el 2020 hasta el
But
2024.
total revenue and product sales. Total revenue. Aren't they the same thing?
¿What? ¿Total?
Total revenue and product sales. Are they not the same
No,
thing?
no, 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 no es lo mismo, porque Total Revenue es toda la compañía Nestlé. Nespresso es un
Ah,
producto
okay, got it.
de
Okay.
Nestlé. Por tanto, es
Okay,
como
okay.
que
Okay,
ya.
very good. Sorry, I'm missing the whole point because of
Y obtener de una
Okay,
multinacional,
I
obtener de una
apologize.
multinacional, ¿cuánto me dejó un producto por un
Uh-huh.
año? Es bello. Yo
Okay.
soy.
Okay. Nice. Nice. I get it. Okay. So,
Entonces,
but
entonces,
back to the problem. The problem is your sample is you have 5 observations. This is a problem. But I know you did
ya.
a lot of work to get the 5.
Ujú. Pero lo otro se me hace mucho más.
Okay.
Ya obtuve la información financiera de la compañía desde el 2018 al 2024. Seguiría siendo igual, en este caso serían 7, si me voy macro, serían 7 observaciones,
Mm-hmm.
pero yo de igual forma, aunque no lo saque por producto, lo puedo sacar por 20 años, si deseo, 20 años y 20 30 años, cualquiera. Y entonces, aunque van a haber unos cambios, porque las multinacionales, aunque sean compañías públicas, cambian de nombre, ticker, como en el caso de...
So you remember in our regressions, we are looking at the coefficients and we look with the t-test, right? Our regressions are running a t-test. And for t-tests to be for the results to be significant or meaningful, we need at least 30 observations.
Ujú,
And then we have another issue here because we have an issue of multiple regression. We're not just testing one variable. We have a few different, you have to have at least 3, right? Independent variables in the model. I asked you for 3.
ujú, ujú.
So like 40 observations you need. But I like all that you're doing. I'm appreciating all that
No,
you're doing
y
here.
era algo que necesitaba, quería verlo como tal, la innovación, el producto. Y sí sabía que me podía causar algún tipo de problema el que fuera una muestra tan corta. Pero de igual forma, puedo no tomarlo con específico el producto, que le puedo ir mucho más cómoda con el mercado como tal, que eso es sumamente fácil y la tomo y podemos hacerlo mucho más grande. O igual forma que sea por compañías, que también se tienen, compañías que están de esa
Ajá.
clasificación y podemos ver su competitividad, ya que estamos relacionando competitividad también con la innovación. Esta aquí yo sabía, porque mira, ahora mismo F, hay errores, igualmente. Aquí.
Yeah, see, you don't have you don't have enough observations. But
Ah.
yeah, so you're saying you can get them. Yeah, that's what's going to help you. You need
Lo
more
vi como
data.
que dije, para este curso quizás buscan algo más sencillo, personas que puedan reconocer la visión científica y dije, vamos a darle una aportación a este primer curso como Nespresso per se, la inversión de Nestlé hacia ese producto como un reflejo de la innovación.
Okay.
Y va a agregar como los resultados, que es lo que vamos a trabajar con el profit.
Okay.
Le había entregado en la pequeña presentación
Okay.
todos sus modelos,
Well,
pero sus
I
modelos,
see you've worked really hard here. Um, and yeah, so what you need to do, and so show me your models. Let's talk about the models again. You have there what you put inside. Show me go to your model 1, model 2. You have the tabs there. I see. Yeah, there. Okay, so you put in there, you put in total assets squared. So I mean that counts as a second variable. Um, product sales. So you have 3. Okay, I see. All right. So you just need the data. You need more data.
ya.
Okay. So you're on the right track.
Sí, pero una vez yo se lo envié, una vez usted lo vea, va a identificar que las variables, cómo se hizo la aplicación de la regresión, aunque la muestra es pequeña, no nos va a llevar a unos resultados como deben de ser,
No.
pero sí se hizo la aplicación bien.
Yes, looks yeah, it looks right. You have the whole system, but you have to get more data. Uh-huh. And then you have to explain like Karjit did, you know, you have to explain the relationships as we did in the assignment. Okay.
Esto lo puedo tener como
I
una referencia.
apologize for not following the Spanish
No,
as
así.
well as I should, but okay. Okay.
El
Interesting.
paper se lo entregué y parte del desarrollo, aunque se lo entregué en inglés, se lo envié en inglés y cuando usted me lo dijo, después que se acabó el curso de hace unas semanas atrás, se lo había, así como usted me indicó, la presentación para que se le haga más cómodo. No obstante, yo lo he seguido mejorando que dentro de mi paper lo que voy a traer, esto de Nespresso como una referencia, pero para las regresiones voy a traer unas mayores observaciones y ya sabemos de por sí que va a ser general dentro del café. ¿Por qué? Porque Nestlé no solamente tiene Nespresso, tiene Nescafé, tiene un montón de otras líneas de café que no están dirigidas dentro del segmento de Nespresso.
So what other kind of variables do you think are important for predicting innovation R&D expense? Let me see. So you're using total.
Porque de primera instancia, lo que yo tenía para dependientes, R&D y patentes.
So wait a second, wait a second. So you're saying that sales influence R&D expensive, but should you use the lag sales, like the previous year sales? Like the current year, like try and what is the you're trying to say that R&D is influenced by sales, but
Yeah,
R&D is a
R&D
decision.
expense. R&D expense. Entonces, por eso es que R&D
So
expense,
sales,
no, total assets.
total
Era-
assets, sorry, total assets of the year at the end of the year influence which R&D expense, because at the end of the year, it's already the end of the year. So which R&D, is it the year before or the year after? Like R&D spending happens like can somebody help me here?
No,
I'm
Yo te
trying.
puedo ayudar, profesora. I can explain because it's similar to what happened to me.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say it in Spanish. Basically, Katy, te voy a dar un ejemplo de mi data.
no escucho, George. Estoy,
Sí, yo te escucho. ¿Tú me escuchas?
ahora no, pues yo te tengo que escuchar. Ajá.
Ok, pues mira, en mi data, yo estoy usando el año 2019, ¿verdad? Y como yo estoy planteando, yo quiero mirar la relación entre los tratados de comercio que tienen algún tipo de lenguaje ambiental, si se refleja en el porcentaje de consumo de energía renovable, pues si el año si yo estoy midiendo el 2019 de consumo de energía renovable, yo voy a mirar 3 años antes el tratado para dejar un tiempo de implantación de que ese tratado se fue en efecto y se implantó. No se va a tardar, no se va a hacer rápido. So, ella lo que está preguntando es si estás considerando algún tipo de lag time, de tiempo, ¿verdad? Entre medio de que se consume, se da ese gasto de research and development para que luego se refleje en años posteriores en las ventas.
Claro, y eso es lo que vamos a trabajar ahora, porque simplemente yo me concentré en obtener la información, ¿verdad? De Nespresso, esta parte de 5. Ahora vamos a tocar una amplitud de tiempo que va a ser entonces esas observaciones de 20 o 30 años, entiéndase que va a ser previo a que Nespresso estuviese y también porque en la mayoría de de los estudios que se han realizado, la inversión en R&D tiene un efecto en el financial performance a largo plazo. Por tanto, son de 10 años previo a 10 años posterior.
Okay, let me explain that to the professor. Professor, she's saying that she is gonna measure the long-term effects of the research and development, and as the literature explains, the literature that she has, research and development could take it could be presented or have the effect even 10 years after. So she's going to be taking that into account when she adds all the data of multiple years, she will be seeing that, into, putting that into effect, like analyzing it across time. I explained to her the lag time that I'm using to let the policy take effect. I'm using 3 years as an example. I explained it to her,
Mhm.
and that's what I told her.
Okay, thank you so much, George. So,
You're welcome.
Katiria, right now you do not have a lag variable though, right? Al momento no tiene.
No, no, pero vamos a hacerlo porque vamos a coger la información macro, que es la completa, de un aproximado, usted bien lo dijo, unas 30 observaciones. Esas observaciones van a ser los años, que van a ser aproximados de 10 años previos a 10 años posterior.
Can you show
Pero como
me?
llegamos al 2024, yo no puedo ponerte al 2034. Por tanto, vamos a poner uno al año, pues 20 años previos. Dependiendo como yo establezca una relación, porque estoy hablando de Nespresso, pero yo estoy tomando como tal un estudio de caso, estoy tomando otras entidades que basado en ellas es que voy a hacer un estudio. Mi estudio no como tal no es de Nespresso, son de multinacionales.
Can you
Siempre hay que medir para ver la tendencia e igual forma el rendimiento financiero es a largo plazo.
can you tell me which paper or which papers that you put in your literature review you used to adapt the model? Did you adapt this model from a paper?
Para el día de hoy en particular,
Uh-huh.
lo que he hecho mención de la relación entre Research and Development Expense y el Total Assets que lo traje a colación tanto así como una nueva hipótesis, viene del estudio
Yeah, tell me which one.
que está muy bueno.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it.
Ajá. Financial Performance and Innovation Evidence from USA. Ese es. Tengo que buscar la
Yeah,
página.
yeah, just tell me the authors.
Ya, dame un momento. Está Literature Review Update. Yo puedo compartir esta otra tabla que yo tengo.
You can put the paper in the chat, or you can just tell me the name of
Ajá.
the author, the name of the author.
Déjame ver
You
aquí.
can upload a PDF into the chat if
Lo
you
tengo
have the
aquí.
PDF.
Déjame ver. Ese fue el estudio de Cornell, lo traje de un repositorio de Cornell University, eh, Krugloff and Show.
Oh, you
Búscalo
have
ahora,
to spell it for me now.
¿ya? Vamos ahora.
Kruglov.
Katira, si lo tienes en tu computadora, lo puedes subir directamente al
Lo voy
Zoom.
a compartir en el chat ahora, los autores, y ya está.
Okay, yeah.
De ahí, del estudio de ellos y la definición de la variable independiente de total asset, como me encantó, cómo pues la están utilizando, sobre todo cómo la corporación está utilizando de manera eficiente sus recursos. Y en este caso, cómo lo aplican a su vez a la innovación.
¿Y dónde lo publicaron?
No está dentro de una revista per se, fue a través de un repositorio de Cornell University,
Ah, okay, yeah, me dijiste. Okay,
que
you
yo lo había
told me.
discutido en un
Yeah,
ajá.
you told me. Okay, I found it easy. It's just so they used 25 years, you see?
Ya.
You need like that. You need 25 is a great number, you see?
Ok, voy a hacer
Okay.
25 y no olvide que es un case study, que
Nice.
va a ser
You must like this. This is very nice.
de la competitividad entre Nespresso versus Curie.
So this is a time series analysis. You have stuff here about the unit root test. So it's very descriptive. This is a very good paper for you to follow. Assessment of multicollinearity. So it goes through the diagnostic. Look, 3 point. And let me share. Look at this, everybody. So this is a good paper for education purposes. I'm going to take over share here. So look at this diagnostic evaluation. This is the thing I want in the appendices. I'm putting in the appendices, but they put it right in the paper. Multicollinearity, unit root test. This is what you have to do for time series regressions. And they have Hausman test. And they talked about the specification and the model. They did panel data analysis, it looks like. So I don't expect you guys to do to do this perfect, like I said, but because I want you to do ordinary least squares, you're going to have to do the diagnostic tests, okay? And it describes some of them here for her. Because it's going to be disappointing. You're not going to find what you want because you might not have the right model, but that's okay. As long as we go through the process, you guys can learn the more sophisticated models later. So they did a linear model here. I think they just did ordinary least squares. Let me see. R econometric, R&D, firm innovation, common econometric approaches such as least squares methods and Tobit models. However, these techniques face limitations due to linearity assumptions and absence of upper boundary consideration. So this is what you're going to run into, right? But they did the linear model here. And then they tried other things because of this is supposed to correct. So yeah, they did a log model, probit linear fractional. Okay, I need to talk about these next week, these different models, at least briefly. But there you have the idea. So the problem's going to arise because you're not satisfying your linear assumptions for ordinary least squares. It's going to mess up your coefficients. Your coefficients are going to be wrong. The sign can be wrong, as well as it can mess up the standard deviations, which will affect the significance of your coefficients. Okay, so those are the two sorts of problems that you're going to see. You're going to basically have the wrong results because you didn't satisfy the assumptions, but you have to check them. That's why you have to check them. This is a nice paper.
Sí, yo lo voy a aplicar entre base de los resultados. Ciertamente voy a ya mostrar ya una vez pues trabajado, pero pues quise, ¿verdad? Tener algo sencillo, porque gracias porque me los trae, porque ciertamente no hay
Pero
estudio.
mira lo variable. Size, tangibility, EBITDA, ESG, tax rate. See, look at all these variables. That's great. Recession.
¿Ya? Entonces, en este caso, porque la recensión, porque están mirando el aspecto económico que estaba pasando para el tiempo. Por eso automáticamente yo identifiqué el factor externo, aunque no económico, pero del COVID. Entonces, el size, yo tengo en el dashboard que compartí, en ejemplo de Nestlé, a través de los empleos, de cuántas personas yo tengo contratadas. El EBITDA, el Earning Before Interest Tax, ajá, lo tengo seleccionado.
Ajá,
Para mí, el Return on Assets se me hace como que parte de. Y yo había trabajado que fue lo que le había compartido en el PowerPoint de la Operation pues, Profit, pero ese un modelo trayendo como tal lo que son las patentes, que ahí era que estaba involucrado. Ahora, en ese estudio, yo lo que me fue a la descripción de por qué seleccionaron el Total Assets. Ahí fue porque el estudio no solamente está midiendo una parte, sino que ese estudio es un estudio ambicioso que por tanto requiere más tiempo. ¿Qué estaba pasando? Por eso fue que cuando hablamos de recesión, que hay otro tipo de medidas. Y de igual forma, cómo es que se obtiene. El Graham number, ya de por sí
So let's see, but they didn't talk about a leg. A leg. Okay, this leg can complicate the task of establishing cause and effect relationships between financial indicators and innovation outcomes. Okay. Okay. This involves acknowledging the limitations of traditional metrics, considering a broader range of innovation indicators, and accounting for external influences and lag effects. So, one lag. Cross-sectional means have been duly exercised and ADF regressions were implemented with one lag. So they did 1 year lag. Okay, we can talk about this again. Kateria, if you want, we can talk about it together. I can talk about this a little bit next week too. This is time because this is a time series
Ajá.
issue. So they did do panel analysis, but they tested the linearity assumptions. from various methodologies robustly refutes the null hypothesis at a conventional significance. This robust rejection provides a persuasive evidence against prevalent unit roots with panel data sets. Should type unit led support to the stationarity of the ESG series across panels, challenging the premise of inherently non-station. There's a lot of jargon in here, but you need to know the basics about it. So, okay. And the specifications. Yeah, I don't see any lags because they don't have any T-1.
La justificación de cada una de ellas. Ese estudio está muy rico, muy
It's a
rico.
it's very, very nicely laid out. Very, very, yeah.
Está rico, está rico.
Yeah,
Ujú.
it is. It's good.
Ujú. Y no está publicado en una revista.
Yeah, I have to read it. I have to read it carefully. I have to
Ujú.
understand what they did with
Chulo, está chulo.
the lag effect. See, I don't see any T-1. I don't see any thing. Okay. All right. So, Katiria,
Hay trabajo.
yes, we need more variables. We need more data. But that's
Ujú.
very good.
No,
I'm,
ese,
I'm
aquí se
glad I'm
tiene.
glad you're enjoying the
Ujú.
process.
Simplemente quería ver, ¿verdad? La línea, porque entonces vamos para aplicar. Pero sí.
Okay, perfect. Okay, did you have any questions for me?
Ahora no, pero
Okay.
más adelante. Pero
Yeah,
quería
let's
escucharla.
keep in touch
Quería
about
escuchar.
it. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so anybody else have comments? Do you want to take a break? Who else is gonna go today?
I was wondering if I could go today because regardless, I have a lot to work on this week. But if I could have it more personalized instead of just relying on Harjeet's critique, well, it could help me.
Okay. Anybody
Yeah.
else? Christopher, do you have something for me?
I still need to finish organizing the demand function for the data. I already have an idea of how I'm gonna lay it out, but until I have it, I won't be able to present what I want to present. So I'd rather focus on doing that these days before presenting
And
it.
you're gonna do it by Friday, so I have something
Yes.
I should look at? Okay, good. Ana Laura, hoy o la próxima semana?
Next week, please.
Okay, okay. Do you have any questions for me now? No?
No.
Are you getting something from these discussions we're having? You know how to prepare?
Definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Okay, good. I'm glad. And Andrew, are you okay? Did you want to go today?
No, I haven't finished all my models yet.
Okay.
So I'll wait till next time.
Okay, so for next week, okay, you guys, we're gonna do this next week. I'm gonna do Alexandra. Let's take 5 minutes and then I'll talk to Alexandra and then we'll go. Okay, let's take 5 minute break.
Creo que tengo que darle stop share aquí. Okay.
Okay, you should be seeing it. This is, well, first, my topic is Mexican SMEs in 2023, which is after the implementation of the USMCA. I have export share as my dependent variable, product adaptation, digital integration, and cross-border partnerships as my independents. And then by recommendation of the professor, I added firm size, firm age, and this is sector, but I added it as manufacturing because it says 0 and 1. as control variables because they were the ones most used in my literature review. So I have my descriptive statistics. This is the table right here. I kind of showed this last class, but I added this these headers to really show the difference between these two. Not sure what else to say here. And then I have my models, which I do have to change because I didn't do the graphics. But so far what I have is my first model is just the independent and the dependent and the independence. In most of my models, digital integration was not significant, and product adaptation and cross-border partnerships was negative, which goes against literature.
Alexandra, why
Yes.
didn't you put the control variables in here?
Because I added them for the next models.
But you're supposed to use at least 3 for every model.
I have 3. The independent.
Cross-border, product adaptation, and digital, that's 3?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't notice.
Awesome.
Okay,
And
so
then for
there were none of them were significant?
digital
Product
integration.
adaptation was.
Yeah, digital integration was not. Product adaptation and cross-border were significant, but they were negative.
So you see, when there's a negative and it's supposed to be positive, that's
Mhm.
because that could be because you're missing variables. That's what's going to happen. It's going to bias your results. So, okay, let's see you develop the model some more. Did you do the graphs? Did you plot the data to see the relationships were linear or?
That's what I mentioned with the similarities to Part J. I did not do that. I tried at first, but since they were binary, you couldn't really see much, so I discarded them. But now I know that I do have to add them back.
Well, integration cross-border. Yeah, it's very good to see the data, to see what's happening. Export share. And can you go back to your descriptives?
Yes.
Yeah, the descriptives. Oh, I want to see. Let me can scroll. Oh, hey, wait here. 100% non-exporters, 0 exporters. So exporters are defined as having 100% export share,
Yes.
and everyone who's not
Wait,
non-exporters.
yes. See, well, I didn't use the gummy, but this is more to show it. This is the percentage of sales, and the ones that weren't 100%, it registered as 0. So
But
these are
those, but you created those. You created the dummy.
Mhm.
So you have defined exporters as 100%. I mean, why would exporters be defined as 100%? Like,
in the raw data, it was separated by direct and indirect, and then there was one column which is this one, but I edited because I don't know if you remember one of our reunions. You asked me why there were so many zeros, and the zeros were really 100s, but it was separated into 2 others that were direct and indirect sales. So I kind of combined them all into here, and I guess in the process, I let the ones that weren't 100 as the non-exporters. But I can fix it for sure.
well, I'm just okay, go back to your descriptives. Export. So export status. I mean, an exporter to me is even if, well, for me, I don't know. It depends for your purposes. If you have 50% sales
Mhm.
or 50% of your sales are export, you're an exporter. You're an exporter if you
Okay.
have 25%. You're an exporter if you have, so I don't know. I don't know like how you're dividing that. So non-exporters for you are not 100%. Export share 75. So out of your people who are not exporters, 45 are not exporters. So this is okay. And your dependent variable is export share.
Yes.
Can you indicate that in the table that you separate export share above
Yes.
firm size? Like you divided them, but I need you to separate that out, like put another row between them so I can,
Okay.
and then say that it's dependent somehow or put another row. Anyway, separate it out. So I am, anyway, it's for you, it's going to be used as a quantitative variable. You wanted to just present them in two columns, but the columns you've prepared aren't really like, I think because the model that you were copying was like whatever you were modeling by, I had it divided, right? By people with and without
Mm-hmm.
a condition. I don't think you necessarily have to do that here.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Like, don't worry about doing it like that
Got it.
because you're not going to do anything with that. And they are exporters. They're just not 100% exporters. So that's
Mm-hmm.
not okay. So yeah, just make one column.
One column.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, we don't need that. And
Mm.
but anyway, wait a second. Don't delete it or anything. It is
No, no.
interesting, but
I
I
just
don't know
want
that
to
it's
check this
meaningful.
out.
I don't know that it's meaningful because having 100% is not necessarily, yeah, but it gives you a feel. If we look at it, it gives you a feel for what you're trying to look for, right?
Yeah.
So is there differences in the column? Firm age is different and product adaptation. Okay, what does 113 mean? Oh, because you're counting again. No, what are
Yes.
you doing? Product
Produces plus
113 had product adaptation as 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And 17 had product. So let me
Sorry?
look at this. Let me look at this for a second. Okay, so 37. The only problem is that it's 100% exporting and most of your data is there. So it's not because it looks like manufacturing is not important. Cross border is 1. Why are they not adding up to 100?
Where?
I mean, why are your percentages not adding up to 100
Oh,
across?
because this percentage is of only exporters and this percentage is only non.
You did so much work. I don't want you to erase it, but I'm so confused. Okay, okay, so 91% of that. Oh my gosh. Let me look at the exporters.
41 over 45 would be the 91%.
Yeah, I know. I got that now, but is that what I gave you? I didn't give you a table that did that, did I? That's very confusing.
Maybe I said that wrong. I'll go back.
Yeah, I think I appreciate your initiative. I'm gonna check what I sent you now because now I'm doubting myself. Let me see. I emailed it to you, or did I text that to you?
It was the email.
Okay, let me see. Let me see what the heck I sent you.
It's N and percentage and then p-value. But it doesn't say percentage over what.
Just hold on. Okay, so what I did, so what I sent you, was this here. And it was like, these are out of the 106,
Mhm.
58, in other words, 54.7% female. I guess you don't have to have it in columns though. Going down, okay, that makes sense, but you didn't have to do it in columns. This is just because I was comparing two groups. You're not comparing two groups. You are, you just have to, so basically just look at it as one column. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
You didn't have to split it. You forcibly split it into exporters and non-exporters with for me, anyone exporting is an exporter. It could have been 1%. So you didn't have to do this. But yeah, I see what you did. So yeah, so then 8 people fell in this age group, 50 fell in this age group, and 47 fell in this group, which represented these, and then these have to add up to 100%. That's how it works. Okay. So you don't have to do it in the 2. So funny. To be careful when I give instructions. All right. So Karjit did the same thing, right?
I believe so.
But his predictor was export, it was export share. Did he do the same thing, exporters and non-exporters? Is
Let
he
me
there?
see.
Karjit,
Yes, I'm here. Yeah,
did you do the same
and
thing, 2 columns?
I did exporters and non-exporters. Yes.
Or you divided it, and how did you define the same? Exporters was 100%?
Everything. Yeah, exactly. No, I use percent, so everything
And just
over.
make one column. You don't need to make 2 columns. Don't worry.
Okay.
Just one
Okay.
column.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm glad we fixed that. Okay. Very confusing. Yeah, you didn't have to do it like that. Unless you had clearly uh 2 categories, but you don't have 2 categories. You have
No.
exporters is quantitative
Yeah,
variable
because
with
in the
many.
models, I only really use the percentage.
Okay, so anyway, that doesn't affect your results, but okay, let's see
Yeah.
model 1. So let's see model 2.
Yeah. This one was adding firm size as a control. So the ones would be small and the 2s were medium enterprises.
So the signs are all wrong. Firm size is significant.
Mm-hmm.
Larger the firm size, the lower exports.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely have to do the diagnostic checks but first of all, you gotta, okay, yeah, you can't graph you can't graph these categorical variables 0, 1 binary, but you're going to have to do the diagnostic checks and that might help.
Without the graphs?
Sorry?
Without graphs?
The diagnostic checks, like you have to verify
Mm-hmm.
that the assumptions are met. I don't think you have collinearity, but let me see. So product adaptation, firm size. Maybe you need. Anyway, you're going to have the wrong. If your models is specified wrong, if you are missing variables, your coefficients can be biased, meaning they're just wrong. Wrong sign, wrong. So you got to get the right variables in. Okay, keep going. Did you do more models? Did you do them all? None of them are good?
The first one is just the base, just dependent and independence. And then for 2, 3, and 4, I added each control. This is from age, still negative. And sector,
You should
still
add them
negative.
all together. Why are you doing them separate? They should all be in the model.
Okay.
All three
And
should be in
then
the model.
for the last one, I tried to do product adaptation and digital integration by multiplying them. It did not go well. I still have to review all of them.
Okay, so you need to put them all in.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you create? So these were given in the data set, product adaptation, or you created that?
It was good.
Adaptation, digital integration.
Mm-hmm. The only one that had to be adjusted a bit was export share because it was in 3 columns.
And what paper is leading your modeling? What papers are you using?
I looked over the ones we talked about in our emails, and they used these controls, a few others that were more specific to their study, but that's kind of where I got it from. But originally, I was going to do time series, but I ran into the same problem that Khadija had, where I only technically had a sample size of 6. So that's why I kind of had to redo this into firm level.
Mm-hmm. So probably, I don't know. So which paper was it again?
I have to look them up. I don't have them in my
We
head.
can you find it and put in the references for me, like at least the authors?
I don't look them up. Well, I don't remember specifically which ones we looked at. I think it was in no, I highlighted. 1 second. I
So you
remember we
guys
looked
have
at
a
it.
lot of categorical data. We have to deal with that. Okay. Did you find it?
I'm looking for. Oh, you just want the authors. Sorry. It's Claude Obadia and Irina Vida
Can you put it in the chat?
for sure. I think this was the first one we looked at. Um,
Were you able to download it?
Yeah. Mm,
Can you put it in the chat, the document?
yeah. Okay. This one for controls, they also had size and sector, which is kind of an inspiration, I guess.
Did they also use the World Bank data?
I don't remember. Let me see. A lot of these were primary data where they did their own surveys. Let me see this. Says database provided by the National Association of Chambers of Commerce.
Mm. You should do I don't know if you have a collinearity issue. Anyway, you should do those tests.
Okay.
Endogeneity.
You said they could either go in the methodology and or after references as an appendix.
Say that again. I'm sorry. The microphone is not good.
Sorry. When you were talking to Wikipedia, I think I heard that it could either go in your methodology or as an appendix.
I think I put in the instructions to put it as the appendix.
Mhm.
But you're going to have to mention it in your results.
Okay. Okay.
It's just that it's like it's a number of things. So you just want to mention, and you can read in the articles, like the Katiria's article, it actually goes through the diagnostic checks. It actually mentions
Yeah,
them.
this one
And
too.
most papers
And
should. You have a lot of variables. age of the company. There's a lot of different variables in here.
Mhm.
Can you read that paper more carefully and consider other adding variables?
More?
Well, your statistics show that your coefficients are not as they should be, right? They could be wrong if you're missing variables or you don't have the right variables in the model. So you need to consider it's
Mhm.
not about more or less, it's about the right ones.
Yeah.
I just said 3 minimum to force you guys to think
Mm-hmm.
about what should be
Just
there.
like before, the problem, well, one of the problems I had is that I only had two. I only had product adaptation and digital integration, and no controls at all. And then when we talked over this paper, that's when I added size, age, and separate. So
Yeah,
I
put
need
them
to
all
know
together, all together. Yeah,
exactly, and then see how it goes. And
let me know.
if needed, then I can add more.
Yeah, let me know how that goes and
Mhm.
look at the videos on the diagnostic checks and do what you can do to test the validity of the model.
Okay.
You have age?
Yes.
Show me age. Show me the model.
Here you go.
So it's significant. Anyway, put them all in the model. If they're not significant, they'll just show up, but just put them all in. Not going piecemeal, like put them all in at the same time.
Okay. I got it.
Okay. And then read that paper more carefully to see if you're missing something. Okay, so everybody's on some sort of track. You know what you need to do. We're going to meet next week.
Yes,
Are
Professor.
you having a are you having a good experience? Are you learning a lot? This is what the purpose of this is, that you have a better feel for what's going on by actually touching the data, working with the data, making the tables. Where's everybody stuck? What's slowing you down, Annalore?
I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the data and questions. So
With the
that's so
regressions, with the models, or with the data?
actually, I think all of that. That's what's holding me up. But
Why don't you plan a meeting with me and we can look at it together, what you have? Do you have a lot of data?
no, not a lot.
How many
It's not a
years do
lot.
you have, or how many observations?
I believe it's 5 to 6 years.
Can you go quarters? Can you get quarters, or can you get more years, or you need more years?
Yeah. I'll try to see if I can get data.
Well, you gotta work with data you can get.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be feasible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's make a meeting. Let's have a meeting this week, Annalore, so I can look at things. It can be one evening. It can be Thursday. Can be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you want, we can stay back behind now and talk, and everybody else can go. Is that easier?
Thursday would be great.
Okay, so
Easier
Thursday.
for me.
Let me see. Let me see. And Christopher, are you okay?
For
You
me, the part the part that's holding me down, I already have the cluster of the structure of my paper, and presenting the data source and regression models, I have them. The only thing that really has me a little bit sort of stuck is that I'm going over the data of the exchange rate, and it gives me the 1.15 or 1.50 of the different currency in exchange. So when I want to apply it to the model, so I'm just that is the last leg of the model that I'm sort of trying to see if I do have to actually reconvert it back or not, because the article that focuses on exchange rate, they use that exchange rate 1.15 or 1.50. They use it as our formula to do their analysis, so they didn't have to change it. So now I'm thinking, why do I have to do like that extra step?
So
That's
they
gonna be
put
so time.
they put the exchange rate as a variable.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, because I have it here cluster down, to do it like a linear or an algebraic formula where I have the demand function, or for example, if I'm looking at India, so I'm gonna say the tons of tea produced in 2010 is gonna equal the tariff percentage that was applied uh, plus the exchange rate minus the logistical cost. I already have those prices. So I'm just trying to see how I'm going to be using, or if I'm really gonna end up applying the exchange rate, or how to apply it. So I'm in the process of just making a new tab in Excel with all the countries, with all its respective data more organized, so that I can start making the regression similar to what we do with the assignment of the logarithmic expression, so that I can get all that skew analysis.
Can you send me that paper with the exchange rates?
If I'm seeing
The
here.
exchange rates in the model? Is that one of the ones that you studied before?
Yeah, that's the one on our last meeting. That was the one that had the exchange rate. I have it here in PDF. Let me.
Yeah, put it in there. Put it in the chat. And George, you're okay? Andrew knows what he has to do, right?
Professor, I'm good on my end. I just need to
You need
finish
time.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm good. I know what I need to get done.
Yeah, it's just time. All right, so I got that.
Another one here.
Okay, so next week, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna look at what you have, but you guys gotta upload something for me to look at before, so I'm prepared. So if it can be Friday, if it's not Friday, Sunday, but I need some hours to look, or whatever. I need a few hours for all of you, but if it's just a few of you, try and get your stuff up by Friday. If you changed anything, I put up the new links, okay?
Okay.
And then I don't want to take too much time going over everybody's things, but I just want to be, this I'm putting you on the spot so I can see that you're working, you know your topic, that and that I've given you some input earlier than when you give me your projects. All right. Also, I want to spend time talking about different types of models and the diagnostic checks. So make sure you do those, or at least watch those videos again, or if you didn't watch them, to understand the diagnostic checks. Alexandra. Oh, you have a question?
This recording is gonna be on Moodle, right? Because
Yeah, you need it? Yeah,
I
I'll
wanna
put it on
go over
Moodle.
everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on Moodle.
Awesome.
Okay, guys. So have a good night. We made it 8:30. Thank you for coming, for participating, and we'll continue next week with the rest of you guys.
All right. Thank you, Professor.
Bye.
Take
Ciao.
care.
Thank you, Professor. Have a good night.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Bye.
Bye.